Cold WANS, the revival. That is back with Revival Episode 2, and we're with no other than Logan Chan, the second in the UK super-featherweight Muay Thai fighter. So Logan,
Yes.
are you excited to take the plunge?
I am very excited. Yeah, I'm kind of nervous. I'll be honest.
What's your
ready for it.
past kind of professionalism with some cold water therapy?
To be fair, I used to get in the cold bath every morning. I'll be honest, I've fallen off of that. I loved it when I was doing it.
Yeah.
I think I've just yeah, like I said, fallen off of it. But
Game's a game, mate.
yeah,
You know, things happen. We all fall off our things.
Yeah.
But are you ready to take the plunge?
I'm ready.
Well,
Let's get
get on
back
with
into
it.
it. Okay, let's go. Right, time to get in.
Whenever you're ready.
Let's get it. It's good.
So, today, because none other than a number 2 in the UK fighter, I think it's important that we try and veer a little bit of the conversation into Muay Thai in this first part.
Yep.
This is toughness on toughness. This man is second in the UK, so he's a tough man already. He's coming into the water. He doesn't really care. He's got a bit of a freezer face on, but it doesn't matter.
Oh,
So what
I'm
I will,
feeling it.
you like it? What I will say is we're going to talk a bit about passion for Muay Thai, because I think it's so important for people to understand that it's not just about fighting for people, it's about the passion underneath that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of things to Muay Thai, a lot of different avenues that make someone really enjoy it. Whether that's the training toughness, whether that's how tough you need to be in the face of battle, or there's plenty of other things you could probably tell me because you've got more experience. So what's your passion for Muay Thai?
There's a big underlying thing about the martial arts for me. I've been doing martial arts for my whole life, since I was about 5 years old. I've always loved martial arts. I've grown up watching like Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, you know, Jet Li, all those type of dudes. Really inspiring. Combine that with, like he says, the toughness, the physical, the physical hardness it takes to do the training. Wake up every morning, do the discipline. It feels great. Like it's hard getting a nice bath. Like I said, I used to do this before. It's a good mental challenge, good physical challenge, but you drag yourself, you manage to do it, and it's really rewarding.
It's honestly like between the two things that I'm now doing with Muay Thai and this ice bath. To be fair, like you won't know me from before, but this kind of saved me from who I was.
Yeah.
I used to be right into drugs, right into alcohol, like really bad. Even previously to like a year ago, and that's pretty bad. I've only done Muay Thai Prime, mate, for about a year and a bit now.
And I never would have guessed that.
Exactly.
To be fair, from what I know of you, yeah, definitely.
And a lot of people do give me props for fixing that.
Definitely.
But it's good. I'll hand in hand give that to Muay Thai and ice baths. A lot of ice bath, because it's tough.
It's hard, man. Yeah, and dragging yourself out at God knows what time in the morning, throwing yourself in. It's one of the hardest things you can do. And I respect that, man, because you can do this, you can do anything.
Over winter, man, that was the best time.
Oh, I bet.
Getting in the snow and
like, cracking the ice off the top and getting in.
Oh,
I respect that a lot.
It's the other thing I wanted to actually ask you while we're in here as well is why Dragon Chan?
Dragon Chan. That's a very good question. Yeah, actually, so my grandfather's from Hong Kong.
Right.
So I'm quarter Chinese. My Chinese given name is Chan Siulong, which translates in Cantonese to Little Dragon.
Oh, right.
So that is my name, Little Dragon. Same as Bruce Lee, actually. I share a name with him, so that's pretty cool. And it's my name. Yeah.
That's really interesting, because like you would never think that. I thought you were just like really fixated on dragons or
dragon.
something.
Yeah, definitely. And so that's the reason I got my dragon tattoo on my leg. That's I'd like to say becoming iconic now. It's pretty cool. You see all the photos with the dragon on it. It's pretty cool, yeah.
How many dragon tattoos do you have?
Just the one dragon. Just the one dragon, yeah.
Right.
The other ones, you might see them when we get out, but they're I've got Hanuman team,
Yeah, we
got
got
to get that. Garuda on my chest recently. That's a symbol for protection.
Right.
And I like Garuda because you'll probably like it too. He symbolizes discipline. So I think in one of the tales of Garuda, whatever he thinks of comes into reality.
Yeah.
So he has to stay really disciplined to like make sure like nothing bad happens, if that makes sense, So
Absolutely.
I like the meaning behind that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting more tattoos, actually, to be fair. Yeah.
Tattoos are a fucking hand in their toughness, man.
Oh, man, yeah, they're hard. Thing is, you'll know yourself, they start becoming addictive. You just want more and more, don't you?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Right. What we're going to do is, we've been in here long enough, I think.
Okay.
What we're going to do is we're going to go into the water.
Yep.
We're going to go into the post-plunge warm-up where we can talk right in depth about everything you want to talk about.
Sweet. Let's go.
So, Logan, coming from the little ice bath, how was it?
It was great, actually. I loved it. I was just saying to you outside that I think you've inspired me to start doing it again, because the feeling you get afterwards is so good, isn't it?
It's always worth it. You know, the thing is, right, we spoke about this in there as well. It's like, the thought of going into it is so difficult.
Yeah.
But it's the same with like, even Muay Thai. It's difficult to think about going sometimes for some people, you know what I mean?
100%.
And then once you get there, and you complete that session, or you complete your ice bath,
Yeah.
you feel so great.
Yeah, what's that quote? It's like, you suffer more in imagination than in real life.
Yeah.
You know, it's that exact thing. It's the same thing when you're fighting. Like, going into the ring, the worst part is beforehand.
Yeah.
The wait, you know, waiting to fight,
Yeah.
you know, walking out, you know, the nerves are going. But as soon as you're in there and you're fighting, it all just seems to vanish, you know? Like, it's weird, but...
It's a weird thing, and a weird how the human body kind of works. Because I can't lie to you, even when I done that little interclub just there, I was nervous going into it as well.
Yeah, you are, yeah.
And as soon as I got in there, it was so fine.
It was fine, you get comfortable, right?
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good thing having someone like you on as well, because you can maybe try and help people that are struggling to maybe push themselves to do stuff like this as well.
Yeah.
Because you've got all that experience, you could maybe be like, this is what I'd done. But
Yeah.
we'll get into that later down the line.
Okay.
So, because it's Logan and he's new to the Cold Ones experience, we want him to build a story. We want to see where he came from in his past, and what hardships he's maybe been through to get to where he got to, and maybe why he found Muay Thai as his passion, if there's a reason. But yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to let Logan take the wheel here, talk about his past, where he came from, and then I'll jump in every so often,
Yeah.
and we'll just get a conversation
That's
rolling.
cool.
Let's go, mate.
Alright, so I suppose it started, like I mentioned in the ice bath, my martial arts journey when I was 5. My parents pushed me into it, I'll be honest. They wanted me to learn how to defend myself. We weren't in the best area growing up, it was quite rough, so they always wanted me to learn how to defend myself. So I started with karate when I was 5 years old, and I went to Kung Fu when I was about 8. And I always had that traditional martial arts type experience. However, it was during that I found out that I loved the sparring bit, you know, I loved the fighting.
Yeah.
And then when I was 14, I wanted to compete, you know, and there's this sort of traditional martial arts places I was training that weren't quite what I was looking for in that aspect.
Yeah.
But like I said, when I was 14, I started watching the UFC. I was like, oh, I want to do something more, you know, a little bit more intense.
Yeah,
you know,
contact,
contact.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I went to try a little bit of jiu-jitsu, a little bit of kickboxing, you know, obviously watching MMA, I was like, oh yeah, I'll try both of these, that's the perfect MMA formula. However, I did find out very quickly that I really like to punch and kick more than, you know, the jiu-jitsu. And jiu-jitsu is great, it's a lot of fun, it's just the punch and the kick, and it really clicked with me. So that's when I ended up at Hanuman, started Thai boxing. I told them I wanted to compete, and they're like, you want to fight? You can fight. So yeah, within a year I had my first fight and I absolutely loved it, man. And I've just been stuck ever since, to be fair.
Have you been with Ronan Muay Thai the whole time?
Ronan Muay Thai the whole time, yeah. So like I said, when I was about 14, 15, I tried a couple, like we did a little bit of shopping, like around the area. But as soon as I went to Hanuman, you could tell, like, I had some skills. I wasn't saying I was great or anything. I had, you know, my background and stuff, but like the levels that just accelerated me so fast that when I went to Hanuman, it was the place to be. And like I says, they were like, if you want to fight, you can fight, and that had me hooked. I was like, oh, these guys are gonna get me a fight, and yeah, man.
They're great, man. As something to say is they are very much, what's the word? They've pushed me a lot to be better as well, and I really respect them for that. They're like inspirations.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean,
Ronan...
obviously, like I'd say, you and Daniel are also inspirations to me because yous are closer to my age group. So it's like when I look at yous, I'm like, I could be there after only partaking in the sport for a little while. Obviously, yous will be doing it longer, but it doesn't matter. Like, there's opportunities everywhere. You know what I mean?
Definitely, and they're such great coaches, and like all aspects, it takes a lot of things to be a good coach. Obviously, you need to know the sport and how to teach it, but they care about you as well. I think that's one of the main things. Is like they care about you, your well-being. You know, how you doing outside of, you know, the sport and that stuff, and it makes a big difference. Definitely. Yeah,
they are really good. I can never get enough of Muay Tech with he's just so funny sometimes.
Yeah, man, he's some character, and it's quite funny because when you first come, you know, you obviously got Ronan Wojtek. Ronan's like the big, you know, bald guy with all the tattoos, but he's so chill, and then Wojtek's, you know, he's full of energy. He's a little guy, you know, but like they're such a good duo together. Like, they bounce off each other. I owe everything in this sport to them too. Definitely.
It's good that you've had them the whole time as well. That you've been doing Muay Thai specifically because, like you said, they're good coaches, but having that coach that stays with you that whole time as well, because you find one of my pals, he's been jumping about gyms because he's not really sure what he wants.
Yeah.
So he's like done a bit of kickboxing. He's literally fight centre. They're more kickboxing and a little bit of Muay Thai, but it's more kickboxing related stuff. And then they found that when he went to other clubs that were more like authentic Muay Thai, he's like learning a lot more, just in general. Because obviously like, they'll say they're kickboxing gyms, but sometimes they're not. Sometimes they've just not got the same training methodologies and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And you don't learn as quickly or as much. As you would like to really learn.
Well, like I said, Rona Wojcik are such good coaches because they've been to Thailand as well a lot themselves individually over the course of their careers. So
and
like
they still go.
And they still go, exactly. They're always wanting to learn themselves, which is great because they're constantly learning, they're constantly teaching us. But they really adopt that Thai style of training. And speaking to them, like I know that's what they set out to do. Like they wanted that Thailand style training, but in the UK, which makes us regarded as one of the best gyms in the UK. And I've had a lot of people actually say that, like, even better than some gyms in Thailand.
It's good having coaches that bring Muay Thai to UK as well and put it on the map because, like, again, there's a lot of. I hear a lot of like horror stories about like gyms that are authentic Muay Thai, and then when you actually go and you learn from them, they're not actually as knowledgeable as they probably should be. To be given what they're like. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of highly regarded gyms, especially in Edinburgh. There's a lot. Same with Bathgate actually. Bathgate's got quite a lot. Livingston not so much. I mean, they've got like what 2, 3.
They got Primate now.
Yeah. How long's Primate been about? Because obviously I've only just started training there, but
just a couple of years to be honest with you. Just it's like the new gym.
Because the library, I remember the library being there.
Do you remember the library? Yeah. You see, I'm not from Livingston, so like I just heard that it used to be a library, but like when you walk around the building, you can kind of like see how it could be, I know that was a little sad for some of the people in the community. Oh, the library's closing, but for a lot of people, it's like yes, we're getting a fight gym.
Now there's loads of guys kicking about in tighty whities and getting ready to scrap. That's it. Aye, man. Oh, it's good though. Like, it's good being able to just go somewhere as well that a lot of people feel more comfortable. Like, I think there's such a stigma on like Muay Thai and like any fighting gyms that like you go in there and everyone's just a big knucklehead and everyone just wants to fight to hurt. And I went to Primate and honestly same thing was going through my brain. Like I was like, it's gonna be tough. Like it's gonna be these dickheads.
Big scary guys, but it's nothing like that. It's so welcoming, isn't it?
Walk in and everyone's just chill. Everyone just wants to have a wee scrap, but it's not like you're not trying to take each other's heads off.
And everyone's down to earth, like, and everyone comes from all different backgrounds. You've got like police officers mixing in with like ex-criminals and like all sorts of things. It's just everyone's there to do the same thing and
have fun.
Have fun, exactly.
And learn.
Why did you start?
So for me, I kind of went over it a little bit there. Muay Thai and ice baths kind of saved me. I don't think there was ever a time in my head where I thought that I was gonna stop taking drugs and drinking. Until I started doing those things. One year in my life, I remember looking back and being like, it was actually last year. Well, the year before last year, because I forget we're in the next year now. And it got to New Year's and I was sitting there thinking and I was like, what did I say to myself last year at New Year's? And it was the exact same thing I said to myself the year prior to that. And it was, you need to stop drinking and take. Well, it was more the drugs because drinking you can do to a certain level and it's okay, it's acceptable. Like you're gonna go out and socialise and do that. That's
it's
fine.
normal,
But taking drugs and stuff like that to a point where you're trying to like fix your mentality. You don't feel safe in your own body, so you take drugs to like get away from that. Kind of disassociate yourself with the society that you live in. That's where I was. I was just like not a nice person. First of all. Taking drugs because I felt like it was necessary for me to be happy. And it's like, it's a lot of things that you kind of look back on after you do fix yourself and you're like, why was I even there? Because like you said, after I mentioned it in the ice bath, sorry, I'm just going to move this over.
It's okay.
You wouldn't have ever thought that. And I think I get that from a lot of people, especially like considering I started doing social media stuff. No one knows me previous to what I was there, for a lot of people anyway. So it's like, you would never think it. But it's like, I don't know, Muay Thai on its own probably saved me a lot because it taught me those main like levels of respect, the toughness, the dedication and grit that it takes to be better. It's not just about one day switching it on and off and thinking it's okay and then going back to it because you think it's okay. It's more staying consistent enough and dedicated to that one thing that allows you to completely change your lifestyle.
100%, it's the consistency.
Like after I did change and after I kind of got back to the point where I didn't feel like I needed drugs anymore, I looked back and I was like, how long of my life have I wasted saying the same things to myself, going, oh, I should just stop. I'll just stop this time. I'll just take it one more time. I'll stop. I'll take it one more time though because it's not going to hurt. And then you just keep relapsing on this. I wouldn't say I was addicted to drugs as such, like, in the state that some people do get into, and I totally will never take that away from them. I understand that addiction is very difficult. I used to be addicted to smoking, which is probably one of the better things to be addicted to. I used to be a heavy smoker, could not stop myself. And then 1 year it just changed. That was before I stopped taking drugs, obviously, but it all came step by step, and then it was after I had decided that I was going to stop taking drugs and stuff that I was like, right, Muay Thai is what I need to, like, dedicate my time into now. Because I kind of lost my way. I was still going to the gym and stuff. Don't get me wrong, I was still in a fairly healthy state while I was on drugs. I mean, I can't say I was completely healthy, because I wasn't. Like, but I was still going to the gym. I was still lifting weights. I was still keeping active in a level of some sort. But the difference that Muay Thai gave to me, it gave me reason. It gave me an excuse not to do it. And it gave me the same kind of feeling as well.
And it's a replacement for it. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking there. It's like, you can't just, like, I can only imagine what, like, the addiction's like, but you can't just take it away and not do anything. You have to replace it with things like Muay Thai. And I'm addicted to Muay Thai. Like, I'll be completely honest with you. Like, and sometimes I take it to the extreme, you know, where it's not even good for me. I'm overtraining, I'm doing too much. But, like, it's the same sort of things that you're explaining there. Like, that almost escapism. You know, things are going on in your life. Oh, you know, your head's a mess. Go to Muay Thai training. It'll clear your head. It's almost like a form of meditation, you know? You get those endorphins, those same sort of endorphins that you get from, you know, going out and, you know, doing all these drugs or whatever, you know, like I said, I can only imagine, because I've stayed so disciplined with the Muay Thai my whole life, you know. I've never experienced that, but, like, imagine it's a similar sort of like reward system in your brain, isn't it?
Yeah, just in the brain though, not everywhere. It's actually funny. I obviously on Snapchat you get your little memories that pop up every so often, and seeing them, like, every, like, from like 3 years ago, and it's like just me in, like, some state. And I'm just, like, looking, I'm like, I don't even look happy. Like, you think you're happy, but you're just not. But it's hard to explain to anybody that's, first of all, not took drugs to the same level. Like, obviously, like, there's a lot of people that'll dabble in it once upon a time in their life. Like, and I know it's a pretty common thing now. Like, when I was probably doing it, I started taking drugs when I was 13 years old. I'm now 21. So, like, it's not good. And that was a long time that I was taking stuff. And nobody trains, especially the younger generation, enough on the risks. Because obviously, it will only be me that dies from it, like, all these things. But I think I'm pretty lucky in a lot of senses that I'm not worse off than I could have been. Because it can cause a lot of problems in your life. And whether that's, like, long-term health effects or even short-term health effects and stuff like that. But it's just, like you say, it's escapism. It got me comfortable to a point where I didn't feel like I needed to do anything else. And as soon as the ice baths were where it started. As soon as I started doing the ice baths, I was like, I'm now replacing something that was helping me escape for something that's benefiting me and helping me escape.
100%.
And then once I started the Muay Thai, I was like, now it's giving me that discipline, that dedication and reason to continue doing something with my life that's not just floating through life, wasting money, buying stuff that's making me feel better for the moment. Because it's only momentary. Once it's away, you feel shit again. And that's it, like, whereas Muay Thai, if you're really feeling it, go get a PT session with your coach. Go fucking train hard, or go fucking get your pals and go do some pad work. There's loads of ways you can do it. You don't just need to go to classes, and that's the beauty. When you learn, mate, you feel better because you gain all these new skills.
And you feel better just in general, you know, like it's hard to do it, and you feel good afterwards, but when you're constantly doing it, like, you feel that shift, you know, just like your well-being, like, because I've, you know, obviously you're in and out of fight camps all the time, you know. There's times where I train more, there's times where I train less, there's times where I'm eating super clean, you know, getting ready for a fight, you know, and there's times maybe just after a fight where I'm eating lots of junk food and stuff, and you don't realise it at the time, like, for example, oh, I'm eating this chocolate cake, it's great, you know, like, it's giving you that hit, but, like, as you consistently do it, like, you start to feel kind of gross. That's the only way I can describe it. You know, you start to feel horrible. And when I'm not training and stuff, and like I said, when you're being lazy, it feels good. You know, when you're eating the junk food, it feels good. But, like, your overall well-being, it changes. And I've learned that over the time that I've trained, that you can, if you recognise how well you're feeling when you're doing this sort of stuff, you can kind of see what's good for you, if that makes sense. You know, like, I've realised myself that I like when I'm training and I'm eating clean and stuff like that. I just like how I feel, and Yeah, you can eat junk food and you can be
Yeah.
lazy sometimes, you know, but like just in general, if you keep consistent with that, those good habits, you will feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's all about balance in life, eh?
it's balance. It's definitely balance. Yeah,
Because I think a lot of people are probably on one side of the fence or the other. They're like either completely lazy and they
yeah,
enjoy that because they get comfortable, but then there'll be folk that take it too far, like you were saying with training,
yeah, yeah,
and you enjoy
definitely.
it in the time, but then after like the after effects come, you then start to hate it because you're in pain all the time and all
Yeah,
this other things. But it's like it's the balance. It is. It's
it's
like
100%.
enjoying going out with your friends and eating shite or going out for a couple of drinks and that. Because drinking, it's okay as long as you're doing it with balance. You're not just going out and getting absolutely fucked off your face for no reason. You know what
All
I mean?
the time.
Yeah.
You know, yeah,
Yeah.
like every once in a while it's okay, you
Yeah.
know, you have to have that balance. Yeah, and like I was saying, I am a little bit on the other end of the extreme. Like I've learned that myself
Yeah.
over the course of the years, and I'll be completely honest, I owe a lot of my success to that. Like, you know, just going
Yeah.
full pelt. At the same time, it's not very sustainable,
Yeah.
you know, and it's been hard for me. Um, Being on the other end of the spectrum,
Yeah.
you know, like there's times where I've trained like 6, 7, 8 hours a day, you know, I'm running my body completely to the ground, and you know, I think I'm doing myself good, where I'm actually just doing myself worse.
Yeah.
But over the years, I've learnt that balance. I've learnt what's good, what's not. Proper recovery, you know, allowing yourself to, you know, chill out sometimes, and once you find that balance, I think it's the key to like just being well in general, you know.
Nah, I couldn't agree with that more, man. To be fair, I'm not on the. I'm excited to actually experience a fight camp because I'm hoping to be fighting soon or at some point soon.
That's cool to hear.
I've been talking to Muay Tech, and that's actually the reason I was. Well, I was gonna go to the Sparathon anyway, but that's the reason I was
Yeah, yeah.
interclubbing that day because Muay Tech says if I go in, get an interclub going, he'll have a look and see what we
Yeah,
can get
yeah.
me sorted out with. Because I mean, there's a good couple things I need to fix, and I obviously I'm still new in a way. Well, I mean, a year's not even that much experience, and I know
Yeah.
that. I'm not gonna act like I'm the best fighter in the world because I'm not. But it's good watching back those videos and just like understand that like. You say it to me all the time, keep your hands up.
Yeah.
For some reason, I just don't like keep my hands up.
Yeah.
Even like every time that round ended in the interclub, Scott, my pal from Levy Fight Club, kept going, keep your hands up and tuck your chin. No worries.
Yeah.
Walks out, just straight back out with my face. I'm like, what are you doing?
But it's hard in the moment, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's easy enough to say, oh, keep my hands up, I'm going to go out there and do this and do that. But, like, when you're in the moment, like, it's hard to, like, you're not thinking much.
Yeah.
It's, like, you feel it from the interclub, and it's the same when you're in a fight. I know so many people, and I do it myself, you know, they go into the fight with, like, this game plan.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to kick him there, you know? And then they come out like, oh, I didn't do anything, I did. And you're like, nobody ever does,
Yeah.
you know. Like even some of my best performances ever come out and I've came at the fight and been like, oh, I've not done very well, until you watch it back and you go, you actually done pretty good, you know. It's it's hard to think in the moment.
Yeah.
It's just getting the reps in of the fight, outside of the spar.
Yeah.
The
Train.
drill it into you that you're
Yeah.
going to do it subconsciously when you get in the ring, you know.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like I found that as well. I was going into the interclub like, right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
But it's like so situational. Fighting's always situational, innit? It's like no matter how much you train one thing as well, sometimes you need to pull that off a different way as well.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, definitely.
Like obviously you drill in like your kicks and stuff like that, but again, very situational. Different things can happen in a fight, and you just need to kind of change the way that you've learned it to somewhere that's gonna work. That's the beauty of fighting. You know what I mean? You can learn all these things, and at the end of the day, it's completely situational.
Oh, definitely.
Your skill gap doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, it's all about the fundamental stuff as well. Like a lot of fundamental, and that's something else I found out that I wasn't doing very much. I wasn't using my hands. Like I'm just kicking. Like what are you doing? Use your hands. You've got hands for a reason.
Definitely, yeah.
But it's
like, you know, having experience in it like that and taking away like you're doing, you know, use my hands more, you know, throw some combinations, mix up the levels, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's actually why I was most excited to do the interclub because it's more learning than anything for me. I'm not afraid to get hit. I'm not afraid to like. That's not what I'm afraid of. It's just I don't know. There's just things that you need to fix, and that's
definitely.
good. And I'm happy that I got to learn that from someone as good as Luca as well. It was good to fight him because I was scared of one of two things happening. I was scared of going in and it being someone that was really, really, really good and was just going to absolutely obliterate me. Or it was going to be someone that wasn't so good and didn't feel as confident, and then it was going to be like a not so good fight. If that makes sense. Because it could be either way, because like obviously my first time in the ring properly, but it could have been someone else's first time. And you don't know how you're going to take that. Like, so I'm happy I got Luca, even though he's had more experience than me. It was...
Yeah, no, it was a good spot, and you know, like I said, we were talking about Luca's really quite good. He's been doing it a long time, so it's good for you to get that experience with him. like that age-old saying, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
You know, like you gotta, mix it up with people who are better than you to get better.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, what if you got in there with someone who wasn't, as confident or not as good? You wouldn't have taken much away from
Yeah.
it. Especially like people who go out there and they just bully someone in
Yeah.
sparring all the time. Like, what's the point? Like,
Yeah.
nobody's learning anything here. But yeah, that was because I refereed it.
Yeah,
I was there.
ref.
I was watching it. You done really well. Yeah. And yeah.
Even you were telling me to keep my hands up mid-round. I was like, I'll do it, Logan.
Yeah,
Nah.
yeah.
But it's alright, because, like I said, we learned from it, and that's now what I'm going to focus on more in training, because it's obviously what I need to focus on. Because it's not even, for me, it wasn't even about like the damage I was taking, because like I felt fine, but it's the points that I'm losing by getting smacked in the face continuously.
Yeah,
I don't look good as well, and I know that judging's very much on how you look and how you are in the fight. You know what I mean? It's not about how much damage you take, but it is what it is. What's your plans for the future? Because obviously this actually came as a shock for me. So I learned that Logan was doing. I'm not saying it was a shock for me because you're going to uni. It was a shock that you're so well in doing in Muay Thai, but you're also doing uni. It's a lot to juggle, I can imagine. So I was quite shocked when I found out you were like in your last year of uni and doing Muay Thai and second in the UK for your weight division and stuff. I was like, how do you find the time? So what's your future, your plans with your, first of all, your degree, and then what's your plans kind of with Muay Thai?
Yeah, well, just going back to quickly how I was juggling it, I'll be honest, it was very hard, juggling uni and training and fight camp and actually having to make money, having a job and stuff like that. It's incredibly hard, but I managed it, and they got to a point in my degree where I was almost wanting to give up, if that makes sense. 4 years is a long time to be studying, especially, when you've got all this different stuff going on, and like my brain just now, at 21 years of age, is just Muay Thai. That's all I want to do. It's the only thing I love it. And because I'm having so much success with it, I just want to take that as far as possible as I can. So there got to points where I wanted to give up, but at the same time, I've got that mentality that I'll never let myself give up. I always just thought, if I gave up now, maybe in my second or my third year, I don't think I would ever
go back.
I'd never go back, and I'd never be able to like live with myself with like, I gave up with uni, so far, and I had to put so much time and effort into it. Every time I thought, I didn't want to do this anymore, I was like, no, all those like late nights, those all-nighters doing your assignments, all that graft, that would have been for nothing. So I've pushed on. It was hard, but I'm just about to finish and going on to the future. I'm doing sports physiotherapy just now, so that's what I'm doing. And I'll be completely honest, I don't really want to go in that field. Not just yet. Out of all the things I could have studied at uni, that's the one thing that's interested me most. And I've taken a lot away from it. Like I've learned, how to look after myself, how to look after, like, I'm in the gym with people getting injured all the time. I can give them advice. It's like I've learned a lot for myself, and that's my biggest takeaway from it. But just now, I'm just about to finish my degree, and I'm gonna go full-time fighting. Like I said, this is all I'm thinking about just now. The only thing I've been thinking about this entire time at uni, to be honest with you, is fighting. So that's what I'm planning to do. I'm gonna go full-time. Starting to get some, I took some time off just there, like in that final 6 months of uni. It's the hardest, so took some time off fighting just to focus on that. However, we're coming back in 6 weeks, and we're starting to get things locked in, and we're looking for quite a busy year.
And I'm excited to see it. I'll be on the sidelines with you this time.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I'll be actively trying to roll myself. So, to be fair, like I can't imagine juggling that much stuff. The thing is, as well, like you've got to have a very disciplined brain as well. Because the thing I'll find is, obviously, a lot of folk go to uni, but they don't do anything outside the uni. Kind of thing. They'll maybe have a part-time job or whatever, but doing that along with having a record like yourself as well, it's not like you can just walk into the ring and win those fights. You're like training for those fights. So that's like, especially fight camps are like 4 weeks usually. Something
longer than that.
Well,
6 to 8. Depends. The thing is with me is constantly over the past few years, I've just been back-to-back fighting. I've averaged about 10 fights a year for the past 3 years, I think. So it's less of like a whole fight camp, more of just fighting, getting out, and then going straight back into it. So it's been one after another. But typically about 6 to 8 weeks is what a fight camp would last. Well,
you've got that on top of your uni work, on top of like,
man.
Actually fighting. It's impressive, man. Like,
thank you.
I do really. I appreciate what you do, because like that's what I'm saying. Like when you told me that, or when I heard that you were doing uni, I was like, how? How? Like I totally understand that you need to kind of. Obviously, you like Muay Thai and you want to take that as a career. That's completely fine. But having that backup that you have a career opportunity from uni as well is great.
That's also, I suppose, one of the main reasons I did it as well. You know, like fighting's, you know, you're not gonna be able to fight forever.
Yeah.
You know, things happen. Sometimes you get injured. Whatever. It's always good to have that backup plan, and that's also one of the main things I was taken from it.
Imagine learning something that benefits you so well in Muay Thai as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's cool. It's handy because, like I said, if I get hurt, like there's been times where I've like had niggles and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and I've been able to figure out myself what's
Yeah.
happening and being able to essentially treat myself,
Yeah.
which is good. But it's also been cool, like people in the gym, you know, with shoulder pain or whatnot. I've been able to like, you know, test them, be like, this is what's wrong, and they become better. Lennox, you know Lennox,
Mhm.
he was just about to go to Thailand. He was 2 weeks out and he was getting this knee pain,
Mhm.
and he was kind of worried because, you know, every time he'd run, he could only run for 3 or 4 minutes before this knee pain was coming on. And then he was worried because obviously in Thailand you do a lot of running.
Yeah.
That's like part of the training. You know, they make you run like 15 kilometers a day or something like that before training all the time. So he was like, I can't run. What am I gonna do? And I've been able to. I took him. I was like, come over here, and I tested him. Tested his knee. His knee was completely fine. It was actually his hip.
Aye.
Yeah. So I tested his hip, and his glute meads were weak. And I was like, this is what's wrong. So did a wee exercise with him, and within like one session, to be fair, activated those glutes. He was running 10-15 minutes without pain. Started to build it up, and completely fixed him. You know, that was really cool because then he could then go to Thailand and do what he was gonna do instead of, you know, I've got this pain that's stopping me. So like I could. That's really good feeling.
Yeah.
You know, that's really rewarding for me as well,
Yeah.
that I can help other people from what I'm learning.
It's crazy, like the biomechanics of the human body. Eh?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the fact that he thought it was a knee pain, but it's actually his hip.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy. I'm doing PT stuff obviously, so I'm learning a lot about like the kind of different parts of the body and stuff like that obviously as well. But I'm not in that kind of depth in that field. But it is really interesting to like work out how everything's connected, and like I'd done human biology in school. Advanced higher level, so I know like quite a lot of the stuff about the body as well.
Yeah.
But it is always really interesting to like have someone that knows all about that kind of more in-depth stuff, and then realizing that you think it's a knee pain kind of thing, but it's actually further
It's
up.
also it's all
crazy.
connected. Yeah,
And
that's
it's because they're all interlinked. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's wild, but it's good. I don't think your degree could actually be any better for you. To be honest.
No,
And the thing is, it's costly to get folk like that are like in that profession to fix your body as well.
yeah,
you know what I mean?
definitely. To be fair, one of the guys in my course was like, what are you planning to do after your degree, Logan? And I was like, man, I'm not doing this degree. And he's like, what do you mean there's so much money in it? And I was like, nah, man, that's not what I'm looking to do.
Passion before money.
Yeah,
Money
definitely.
is a number. You want to be happy in life. And the thing is, you can always do it on the side if you ever feel like that's necessary.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So that's the beauty of it, man. That's actually a good point. A lot of people nowadays just get a job because they think money's so necessary. But I think it's obviously, this is very situational because you can't just not have a job and always be in where
course,
your passion
yeah.
is. Like, I understand the difficulties and I understand if you don't do your studying, you're young enough, you get to a certain age, you then can't. Well, you could go back, but you're then worried that you go back, you do your 4 years, and then you come out of that and you're too old to get a job. I
Yeah.
totally understand. But I feel like folk need to try and push for passion nowadays because like it's getting to a point where work is so stagnant for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see so many people struggle for money, first of all, but then struggle for money in a job they absolutely hate.
Yeah.
It's such a common thing now, and it's such a shame to see.
Yeah, and you see it everywhere, you know? That passion thing is probably the reason that, like I said, I'm going full time right now, doing the thing I love,
Yeah.
while I'm still young and while I still can.
Yeah.
Like, I've got the rest of my life to, you know, have a regular job,
Yeah.
and I'm so grateful for the opportunity that I can pursue my dream as, like, a full-time thing. So, yeah, just go for it, guys.
Oh man, right. Okay, well, you know what, we're going to split this little chatting bit up with your video that you picked. So we've got, I stopped doing this for the last episode because sometimes it causes issues and it causes like copyright stuff, but I know this won't be copyright strike, so it's alright, we've already sorted all this. We've got a clip, well, it's not a clip, it's a full fight from Logan that I asked him to pick the one that he felt like he either performed the best or it was just his favourite fight in general. I've only saw clips of this. I purposely didn't watch any of the fights within like your recents because I knew you'd pick one of these.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch any of them so that I could get like a clean watch of the full thing.
Yeah.
Obviously I know what happens at the end of this or
Yeah.
whatever because I've saw it all over your Instagram and whatever, but I don't know how the whole fight went. So it's going to be interesting for me to learn while we're walking through.
Yeah.
You can feel free to kind of walk the people through what's happening if you want.
Yeah.
Because we can obviously hear everything that's going through the headphones.
We're going to commentate my own fight. That's
You
quite
can
cool.
commentate
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you like. But if you don't, and we just watch, that's completely
So
fine.
I'd probably just like to say firstly that the reason I did pick this fight, and we were chatting about it earlier, about like coming at the ring and never being satisfied. This was one of the one times out of my 30 odd fights, one of the one times I have actually been really proud of myself. So that's the reason I picked this fight, you know.
Yeah. Well, I know that it ends with a bomb. So
yeah.
I can understand.
We'll see why.
Yeah. Right. Let's get the headphones on. Cool. Let's get locked in, bro.
Excited.
Right, excited. Here we go.
With the tail of the tape, Sewer game at Chok Chalun Kanchang taking on Logan Chan. Bit of a tongue twister there for me. The rep. Oh,
so yeah, this is my first fight at Lumpini Stadium. Lumpini Stadium being like one of the most prestigious stadiums in Thailand.
Could have attempted that one, unfortunately.
So here we
as soon as I found out I was fighting at Lumpini, like I arrived in Thailand, I had one fight in the local stadium, and I obviously had proved myself that I was ready for this level right away. So after that first fight in the local stadium, the promoter came up to me, he's like, I can get you a fight at Lumpini. I was over the moon, man. I was crazy. I was like, Lumpini Stadium, this is it. This is the big leagues. So like I'd built this up in my head quite a lot. One of the hardest training camps I've done, to be honest with you. Because of that, I was super nervous, and I suppose even more dangerous than usual. The nerves bring out the best in you.
Yes. You want to perform when you're getting such a good opportunity.
100%. Like, this was my first proper shot at the world stage. Everyone was watching this, you know, so.
Nice.
We had watched this Thai fighter, Sue game. We had watched a couple of his fights before, actually, trying to look for a little game plan. He's vicious with the elbows, so like you'll notice when I'm clinching, I'm like really holding on to his hands, watching out for these elbows, because we had seen a couple of fights before he was lighting people up with them.
Is it like a truth that all the folk from Thailand are more knee, more elbow, or is that just?
It depends on your style. It depends on what gym you're from. Yeah, like every gym focuses on different things, you know, and typically they're very well rounded. From my experience at least. I suppose the one thing that might have came from is just the fact that maybe people from the Western world don't focus on that as much. Thais have very strong clinch. Usually, you know, they focus on that a lot more than over here in the West. We're catching up, and you can see that in this fight in particular. I actually remember clinching with him and realizing, you know, you build it up in your head, oh, he's Thai, he's going to have very strong clinch. You'll see I start bringing the fight to the clinch a lot more. Like I'm adding this pressure because I felt like I was better than him in that area. So I started bringing the fight there.
It's good that you can actively tell that's what's happening while you're fighting as well.
Yeah,
being able to differentiate what you think you're going to be stronger in while actively in the fight.
Definitely, like I said, it's hard to think mid-fight. Like, you know, it's more of like a moment thing. But the more experience you get, the more you fight, the more calm you become, the more able to think it becomes, you know. Like I think of more of a job now, you know. I'm just going out there to do my job, you know.
Some job that no one would, a lot of people would be like, yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah. Oh, I love it, man.
Nah.
And like these bright lights, the big stage, the adrenaline, the nerves. Like as I said, I was nervous, but you fall in love with the nerves, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's some feeling. This is my drug, 100%.
And
there's no feeling like it.
Yeah, totally understandable as well. Like, from my little experience, it's high octane.
Yeah, definitely.
I love it.
Like I said, especially at Lumpini Stadium, this biggest fight of my life.
Yeah.
At this point.
I can only imagine the nerves going through you here.
Oh man, it was great. Like I said, I settled in really nicely, you know. As soon as I was in there, I felt calm.
Important having that mindset of like thinking that you're going to win. That's something that's so important.
Oh, the smallest little bit of doubt can manifest so easily. Like you don't want that. Actually, it gets to the point where like you start giving yourself affirmations before you go. Like I'm the best. I'm gonna smash him. I'm gonna beat him. You know, always ready for war.
Is that a DJ?
Yeah. It's funny because Fairtex fight, this promotion, this stadium's completely empty. Lumpini Stadium. This was in the morning, so like, usually it's like full, like people roaring. But because Fairtex fight happens in the morning, nobody comes. So it's a completely empty stadium. There's one DJ girl. But she's quite a famous DJ as well in Thailand. Like everyone knows her, and she's just jamming away to herself. Yeah, you used to be finding my rhythm a little bit more. Had Daniel in my corner actually. Great corner man.
Yeah.
I see him throwing that elbow there.
They're not leaving anything to chance. They really are pressing forward in the second round.
And because it was a 3-round fight, it's pretty much like 3 rounds of 3 minutes. I like that style of Muay Thai. Obviously, there's the 5-round style. You take your time a little bit more, you build it up. But 3 rounds is just bap, bap, bap. So I come out in the second round knowing I've only got 6 minutes left in the fight. You can pretty much sprint for 6 minutes, you know. So I'm just going.
But having a little bit of difficulty trying to reframe inside the clinch.
Like I say, I'm so impressed by the clinch work of both these fighters. Nice knee from Sugain, but Logan returns just as good. Ooh, attempted left elbow there over the top.
Logan's really bringing it here this morning.
Hitting it now.
Just
Yeah,
to
man.
apply that forward pressure and break the rhythm.
We're
of
both going
Sugain.
for it.
Not letting get that hand around inside the clinch.
There's that frame I was showing this morning in class.
Yeah, it's almost like Logan goes forward, he lets himself go, and then he wants to compose himself and pull it back a little bit. Ooh.
Sometimes you just need to let the hands go a bit. Beautiful short elbow.
Yeah, so you see I'm bringing the fight to the clinch now with him a lot more because I said I felt like I was stronger than him there, so it's adapting in the moment.
Here we are back in center ring. Logan just edging forward here, goes for the body with that body jab, flips a punch, goes for the uppercut.
I remember just having fun here.
Stabs the knee in,
Oh.
sweeps the floor. Let's call him the janitor.
Boom.
Goes for the spear.
So was that kick control, or was that like?
Oh, I'll be honest. That kick, I was trying to take his head off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the commentator, she was like, "Oh, Logan pulled the kick last minute to not kick him in the head." In that moment, I was trying to kill him. Yeah. Because if it's one fluid movement in Muay Thai, while they're going down, you can throw the kick. Like as long as it's not like you knock them down and then they hit the floor and then you kick them. If it's all one fluid move, you can get away with it.
Sewer game, not quite
So yeah,
there.
that's what I was
We
going
wish him a
for.
speedy recovery, but let's go and have a look at the replays in just a second.
Boom, that flying elbow.
That spear elbow.
Over the
That was
Oh
crazy.
yeah, there's no control there.
Yeah, no, I was.
I really thought, oh no.
I was trying to take his head off. Boom.
It's an absolute catapult, man.
Thing is, in the moment, it's for me, it's like I'm just trying to finish the fight.
Yeah.
Like as soon as the fight's over, it's a relief. It's like, oh, it's done.
Yeah.
You know. So like, if I can land that kick and
That's
put
it.
that stamp on it, I'm kind of glad the kick didn't land actually, because this knockout ended up going very viral. Like I
Yeah.
think it's got 6 million views. It's really cool, but like if it was the elbow then the kick, it would have taken away from that flying elbow KO. But you can see how happy I was. Like I said, this is one of the biggest fights of my life. Actually, funny story. After this fight, I went back to the changing room. I was bouncing up and down, like I was practically hitting the ceiling. And the guys who had just fought before me hadn't seen it. They're like, "What just happened?" I'm like, "Ah!" I was screaming. You could probably speak to Daniel about that because he was there. I even ran outside the stadium. I was feeling so much energy. You know, I ran 2 or 3 laps of the stadium just to try and get my energy out. Like, you know, because that couldn't have went any more perfect for me, to be honest with you. Like I said, it's the biggest stage ever, and you land a KO like that. It's
a
quite
good
crazy.
KO.
Yeah.
I'll pop them off again.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy, man. Oh, like in the kind of respect of that kind of fight, and you're in that kind of high pressure zone. What like advice would you give to someone that's maybe actively fighting now? Like,
best advice I could give: breathe. Firstly, you know, like a lot of people, just if you take a moment to breathe, it'll completely level you out. It'll bring your nerves down. Breathe and have fun. Like that's all I was really doing there. Like I said, I was very nervous, but I was just trying to smell the roses. Like I thought to myself, it's not every day you get to fight on a stadium like that.
Yeah.
And I tell people like that when they're fighting, no matter where they're fighting. Like it's not every day that you get to go out and have a Muay Thai fight or a boxing match or whatever. You know, so just enjoy it. You know, enjoy the moment. Everyone's watching. You know, smell the roses. Have fun, and if you do that, if you breathe, take your time and have fun, you'll perform so much better. Yeah.
Alright, man, that's an impressive fight though. Like you look dominant most of the way through. The guy was definitely giving you a go with the knees, like.
yeah.
That's
definitely.
good, man. It's funny because like that type of knockout, you can just tell that you were playing it like slightly through your brain. Like that's a good opportunity. That's a good. And then you just go for it. Like And I think this taking that risk as well is impressive.
Taking that risk and having fun.
Yeah.
I was literally like, oh, let's throw something cool here, you know, and it worked just like that. It was cool.
Because like that could have went anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're in the air. There's a lot of opportunity for him to have retaliated from that.
Sweep really easily. Yeah, but you know, you gotta take these risks.
Got
Yeah,
it off, eh?
I got
And
it.
That's it. Because like, and the thing is as well, like if you didn't get a knockout like that, it might have not done as well in other aspects as well. You've got an opportunity now where you've done something cool and you got rewarded for it.
Yeah,
being cool, you know what I mean?
definitely. Oh, the promoter loved me after that, man. This little Thai guy, right? I was getting dragged around the stadium. He didn't speak any English, but he was dragging me around the stadium, like speaking to all his other pals. And like I could kind of make out what he was saying. He was like, "This guy is crazy." He got me right back in Lumpini like a couple of weeks after that. Like he wanted me back.
No, that's
It
fair,
opens
man.
up doors.
I love that. How oh, my brain just kind of went there. What the hell?
That's alright.
Oh, my brain's actually just completely went. I had like such a good question there. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, what the actual hell, man? That's so
cool.
weird. What's it like with like the whole? How easy is it to actually get a fight in Thailand? Like within not like how easy, but I've been told like as soon as you go to the gym, if you've been trained there, like you want a fight, like straight
Yeah,
away.
that's quite a common joke that goes around, and it's pretty much like that. I mean, if you go to the gym and you can show that you've actually got some skills, like they can get you a fight really easily. Me and Daniel, the boy I went with, we landed in Thailand, and I think it was like 4 or 5 days later, like I got a fight. It was actually after the first training session. Manasak, he came over, our crew at the time. He came over, he asked me, "Oh, how many fights you have?" You know, I was like, "Oh, 24. And he's like, "Oh, okay. And he seen me train a little bit. He's like, "Whenever you want to fight, let me know." I was like, sorry. I was like, "No, yeah, man, I literally just landed. I'm adjusting to the heat." But after a couple of days of training, I was like, "You know what? Fuck it.
Yeah,
let's just fight." So it's pretty easy. And after saying I wanted to fight, they got me a fight within a day or so.
Yeah.
You know, like the fights everywhere in Thailand. And
Yeah.
no matter where you are, even if you aren't that high level, you could probably get in the ring.
Yeah.
And
How much Thai do you actually know? Is it something that you've spent time on learning?
It's something we picked up. Yeah, definitely. You got to learn a little bit. You
Yeah.
don't want to come across as this arrogant
Yeah.
foreigner that's expecting everyone speaks English, because they don't.
Yeah.
Firstly,
Yeah.
but you definitely have to learn the language and the culture. I learned a little bit. You know, I could order my food in Thai. I could be polite.
Mhm.
You know, I knew quite a few Muay Thai terms. You know, kick, knee, that sort of thing. You know, playing around with people in the gym, and especially when you're there for so long. We're there for almost 4 months. Like you end up just learning it naturally.
Yeah.
It's quite a fun language, to be fair.
Yeah, it was challenging.
Yeah, definitely. It's
I think I've heard a lot of people talking, like, actually speaking it, and I feel like speaking it's probably a little bit easier, but reading it looks so difficult.
oh, that looks crazy. Yeah, man, it's a crazy language.
Like I can only imagine going to try and order something and just looking at like because it's obviously not like proper written words that we're used to. It's like all the symbols and.
Yeah. It's one thing learning to speak it; it's another thing learning to read it. There was a couple there that we were with, and they were moving out there for quite a while. They're planning to stay there for a few years, and the way you get your visa by doing that, like there's different ways, but one of the main ones is getting an educational visa.
Yeah.
So if you want to stay and do Muay Thai, you can just learn Thai, and that kind of gets you your access. So they were like taking Thai classes while they were there, and they're learning how to read and write it. Man, it's crazy. Yeah.
Oh, that's wild, man. Honestly. Have you got any plans of going back anytime soon, or are you waiting until all the uni stuff's done?
Obviously it'll be after the uni, definitely. And like I said, we're starting to lock in some dates for some potential things. I'm looking to go this summer. Don't want to speak too soon about anything, but like we're looking
Looking
at some fights.
shot at like.
Yeah, we're looking for some things over there. The plan is May in Edinburgh in the Muay Thai Jam post show. June going to Italy for the World Championships. Then I think I'm going to fly straight from Italy in June to Thailand in July and hopefully have something over there.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what opportunities come. I'll be back in September. There's big promotion in Glasgow in September that we're looking to get on. So yeah. And then another one in October. You know, like we're starting to get things. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's full time right now. I'm just trying to take as much as possible.
You should, man. Like you've got the skill there, so you might as well
throw all my eggs in one basket. You know.
If I mean, you deserve it as well. After you're going through like hell and back doing your uni stuff, I can only imagine how excited you are to just get back to it properly.
Yeah, man, I'm so excited.
And there'll be a lot of other people excited to see you again, because it's like one of those things. It's like your favourite fighter comes in, they go away for a while because they're doing other things.
Yeah.
Oh, is he gone? And then you come back with a bang and they're like, yes, let's go. Because like before I had actually met you, I'd heard about you through like folk from the gym, and like obviously I hadn't done any research in that. and then when I looked on your like Instagram and stuff, and then you started training at Primate more.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't think you really trained at Primate previous to that, or you were maybe
No.
actively fighting or something when I was going, because I never really saw you.
So what actually happened is I've had my driver's license for a few years now. I just never had a car.
Yeah.
So like Livingston's quite hard to get to. But then as soon as I got the car, it's easier to get
Yeah.
from where I live to Primate. Obviously still train a lot at Hanuman.
Yeah.
That's my gym. But I can. That's probably why you
Yeah.
see more of me now, because I can actually make it out.
To be fair, I never really done morning classes previous as well. I was always
Yeah.
a late classer. But yeah, it's like every second Wednesday I've now got Logan in my face telling me to keep my hands up, and I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll do it.
I see you remember it. Every time I come over, the hand goes up.
Yeah, I'm like walking about like this. I'm like, oh, shit, Logan's there. Get the hands up, man.
Yeah, man.
No, it's a good thing to like keep in practice. Obviously, it's so important, and just it's good having another thing about like both the gyms is the coaches drill into you and they take the time to actually look over what you're doing. They don't just like rush with things. Like I
Yeah.
find that like you a lot as well. You come over and you'll sit there and like watch and like make sure that we're doing it properly rather
Yeah.
than just letting us run through it. Rowan does it as well.
Well,
Muay
that's-
Tech, depending on how he's feeling, but
Yeah.
he does always double check. It's just like
Well, that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Rowan and Wojtek, the coaches, they teach us how to be good coaches,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. And like, they drill all this sort of stuff into us because obviously we're working at the gyms. They
Yeah.
want us to be at standards. So they tell us, you got to be friendly. You got to go over and make sure everyone's technique's right. So, it's just, like I said, learning how to be a good
Yeah.
coach.
one of the hardest things I would imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
definitely.
Especially like we were saying earlier, like you've got all these different like backgrounds, lifestyles and stuff. There'll be people that take criticism better and there'll be
Yeah,
people that
definitely.
take it worse.
Some people you got to be more patient with,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a skill coaching as well. Like, you can get a good fighter, but they might not necessarily be a good coach.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, there's confidence in that, innit? Like, but there's different types of confidence. Because
Yeah.
like speaking to someone is different than being in a ring fighting someone.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, because I find that a lot. Like, I'm pretty good at speaking to people. Obviously, I know you better, so it's like easier for me to speak to you. I'm not as nervous to speak to you in case something
Yeah.
goes wrong or whatever, because it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Because like we're both kind of hearing the same way.
yeah, and it's giving off that friendly vibe
Yeah.
to people that they can approach you like that. Like
Yeah.
like you said, it's such a welcoming place. And if you approach someone like when you first meet them and be friendly like that, they're more likely to come and ask for help
Yeah.
and then learn from you.
Also, like, I think as well, it's so important to, like, obviously retain. I know this sounds, like, so business oriented, but it's retaining the clientele as well. So, like,
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
not nice, they're not going to come back.
Exactly, yeah.
Or
On a
if, like-
business side of things, of course.
Yeah, and
you
it's
want to
just-
learn a welcoming environment. You want everyone to have fun, and you want everyone to take away something from
Yeah.
the session.
It's good, mate. Oh, I do love Primate. I do love it.
Yeah, it's
I've actually
great
been meaning
gym.
to come up to Hanneman for a couple of sessions, though, because, like, I know, like, it's basically, it's very similar training methodologies, but Hanneman's more, like, it's very authentic, innit? It's, like,
Yeah.
you focus a lot. I mean, it's the same
They'll be,
coaches,
they'll
though,
be,
so-
yeah, it's the same coaches, it's the same gym. The only thing that's different is the fact that Hanuman's been there a lot longer.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, like me and all the other fighters, some of us have been coming there for almost 10 years, you
Yeah.
know? So, like, there's been more time for the people to, like, establish themselves as fighters
Yeah.
and train and stuff. So the level of, like, the fighters there is a little bit higher, but it's
Yeah.
exactly the same,
Yeah.
you know? And, like, hopefully, like, you can see it at Primate. Everyone's starting to, level's starting to rise. It's
Yeah.
good with the new fighters coming through. It's really cool to see. And especially with the up-and-coming guys, you've noticed, like, the up-and-coming Hanuman people get matched with the up-and-coming
Yeah.
Primate people and they fight each other, which
Yeah.
is good because it's just a sport. It's not like Muay Thai's a sport and there's no beef and there's no actual, like, rivalry or
Yeah.
anything like that against each. But it's just like,
It's
oh,
respect.
this guy's at this level, this guy's at this level. They don't really know each other. Let's put them against each other. Let's,
Yeah.
and everyone can learn from it.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's
it's
it,
cool
man.
to see.
No, it is really good, man. I do like that that's what they do as well. I like that they've got two gyms and they do, like, just...
Yeah, they
pick
match
two and they
people.
go, "Ah,
Yeah,
fuck it,
yeah,
why not?"
definitely. And it's easier as a promoter as well, I think,
Yeah.
for the guys. You know, they're just like, oh, this guy can fight this guy, easy peasy. You know.
How long's the Thai Jam been going on for? Like, I know it's on, like, what is it? Was it 12 or 13 that's on now?
Good question. 12, I think.
I think
12.
it's 12.
A while, quite a
Yeah.
while. I'll be honest with you. Even before going to Hanuman myself, I remember being maybe just an early teenager, just before I started doing Muay Thai. I seen a poster for the Muay Thai Jam. I had no idea what Hanuman was or anything like that. I just seen, oh, Muay Thai fights. And I didn't think anything about it for years, you know, I just totally forgot about it. And then I was like Muay Thai Jam 5 or 6 or
Yeah.
something like that. And then a couple of years later, I ended up at Hanuman fighting on the Muay Thai Jam,
Yeah.
and it all clicked. I was like, oh, that makes sense. So it's been going on a lot longer than I've even been there.
Yeah.
Hanuman's been going on for a long time now.
What was your first fight? Was it the Thai Jam or was it?
No, it
previous to
was actually arguably one of my hardest fights. I'll
Oh,
be
was
honest with you. Yeah, my first ever fight. One of my arguably my hardest fights. Yeah, I believe I was either 15 or 16. Weighing naturally 60 kilos. I got matched against someone else who was the first fight. It was in Birmingham. They were amateur fights. We all drove down to Birmingham. We had to wake up at like 4 a.m. in the morning to drive down in time for the weigh-ins and stuff. Weighed in, and it was only 3 2-minute rounds. But like, I don't know if you've ever seen people win their first fights. It's very common. You know, they've never fought before.
Yeah.
Adrenaline's high. They're gonna go boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
You know, and like
clash.
everyone just clashes and they absolutely blow their gas tank instantly. That's what happened with this boy. You know, we just went for it. Like straight from the bell, we started scrapping, and by the third round, we were just slugging it out, man. And to be fair, the closest I've ever been knocked out was in that fight. I remember the combination, like clear as day. It was like right uppercut, left hook, right cross, and every time he hit me, it went bonk, bonk, bonk. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna get knocked out here, clinch. You know, so I managed to grab onto him and survive, and it was a great fight. I ended up winning it, actually. I was throwing up and everything afterwards, man.
really?
Like, yeah, like I couldn't walk. Like I'd broken my foot, actually.
Oh,
like
really?
it was an absolute war.
Jesus.
It was great.
Good first experience though.
Yeah, definitely. And as soon as I came out, I absolutely loved it. That's
Yeah.
when I knew, like, this is what I want to do straight after that first fight. And then, yeah, just no looking back since.
When was your first, like, is it called A class? when you
A
have
class,
money?
yeah. So
When
like,
was your
there's
first A class?
A class system. A class being the pretty much full time rules
Yeah.
professional. I was 18. I had just turned 18. Prior to that, like I said, I had my first fight. And there was a few years out because of obviously the pandemic and
Yeah.
stuff. So like, there's no training, no fight or anything. But I came back. I've had a few fights. I think I had 6 amateur fights at this point, and only amateur. No, like, usually people work their way up. C
Yeah.
class, B class, A class. I'd only had amateur fights at the time, but Ronan Wojtek thought I'd be ready. So they were like, Logan, we got you an A class fight, you know, against a good opponent. David Sinclair, great fighter. Another war, actually. Yeah. I lost that one via majority decision, I believe. What happened was similar to before. You know, you go out and you blow your gas tank straight away. Like, I was arguably one of the fittest I'd ever been at that point. Like, you know, my first professional fight. You know, I was training my arse off. And I brought it to him. The thing is, I never fought 5 3-minute rounds before. So, like, I brought it to him, and, you know, I was putting it on him the first, the second, the third. But then as the rounds went on, I started to fatigue, and David was really clever with it, you know. Like, in Muay Thai, you finish the fight stronger. The judges prefer that, you know. So, like, he ended up just biding his time, waiting, you know. And then 4th and 5th round, he started to finish stronger. And because he finished the fight strong, he ended up winning it. So that was a good learning curve for me. My first ever loss, my only ever loss, to be honest with you. That was my first A-class fight. Great experience, man. That was an absolute war as well. Yeah.
How is it going from wearing the shinnies to no wearing the shinnies?
Good question. Very good question, actually. Yeah.
It's something that I would love to know.
Yeah. So, to be honest with you, you don't feel it. I remember being worried, fighting without the shin pads, like, on the build up to it. I remember, like, accidentally clashing shins in training and stuff, like, you know, bone to bone.
Yeah.
I was like, it's like the smallest little bump. I was like, it's so sore. You know, how am I going to fight without it? And I specifically remember the moment, first time fighting without shin pads, you know, I was going, I threw a kick, he checked it, bonk, it bounced off like rubber. And I was like, I didn't even feel that. That was great. You know, I just started going, you know? Yeah, man, it's just the adrenaline's so high in the moment, you don't even care, you know? You're just like, fling those kicks. Afterwards, it's a whole different story.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
fucking
man.
feeling it, I can
Like,
imagine.
your legs are all bruised, you're so sore, you're like,
How's the recovery like after
After a fight?
Yeah.
It depends how hard your fight is, obviously. All fights are hard,
Yeah.
you know? You're never going to come out there, like, completely 100%. Yeah. You got to take a day or so off.
just
I'll tell you that. You
Just a
definitely
day.
got to take a day or so off, especially after like a whole fight camp,
Yeah.
you know. If it's a harder fight, your shins are all going to be bruised, you know, you might be cut, you might be injured, that sort of thing. Life is pretty bliss after a fight though, you know, like, because you
Yeah.
focus on it for so long
Yeah.
that, like, even if you're sore and all beaten and like battered up, you got black eyes and stuff, you're like, like, you know, it's just over. It's all over. So, like, even though you're painful, you know, you feel, especially if you've won, you
Yeah.
know, you're like,
It's rewarding, eh?
yeah, it's rewarding. Yeah, definitely. You don't really care about the pain. You're just like, I feel like a champion. You know?
And that's all that matters, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, I'm going to veer towards the last question. It doesn't mean
Okay.
that we're done here, but I'm just going to veer towards it so then we can break up the next part of the
Yeah, yeah.
conversation. So, every single cold WANs, I ask the same question to everybody, and it's good to just kind of see how different people answer this question. So, I always like to ask the person that's here, what kind of advice, or even like a quote or something that you really like, that you would say to the people watching. I like when people build their own kind of thing as well, so if
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know, just about motivation, I don't
Yeah.
mind what you go
Okay.
with, right? But just something that you would say that might help a person watching this maybe
Alright,
push themselves to higher
This
limits.
is fun. Like I've got lots of quotes in my head, you know, like there's like I've got a whole bank and arsenal of things that like I use to motivate myself. But like, well, one piece of advice I'd probably give to people like trying to better themselves or do well in anything is just consistency. Like I've had a lot of success in my career, and like there's been times where I was up and coming in training, and there's been people the exact same level, age, weight, that sort of thing. Like, like we're pretty much at the same point. But then they break off and then they stop doing it, you know. The only reason I've been so successful in my career is just because I haven't stopped.
Yeah.
And even if it's just little bits, you know, like try not to take the breaks, you know. If you do, it's okay, just get back to it, you know. Consistency is probably the main thing for anything in life, you know. Like for me, my Muay Thai, but whatever it is in life,
Literally
that's
anything.
what I say, consistency. And like it doesn't have to be, you know, like 100 mile an hour all the time. Like I said, just consistent little bits, discipline. That's the one piece of advice I'd probably give to people.
Incremental consistency.
Yeah, definitely, man. You'll eventually get there. You know, it's like it's a marathon. It's not
Yeah.
a sprint.
Yeah,
No
that's
matter
it.
what you do, you know.
I like that quote. It's not a marathon. Sorry, it's not a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
Yeah.
It's good. It's really good because I think that's something that a lot of people probably would learn from, to be honest. Because a lot of people do act like everything is a sprint in life.
Yeah.
It's the same with like the uni stuff, and we actually spoke about this before we got here. Like how people leave it to last minute to then do all these big assignments.
Yeah.
And burn yourself out. You dig yourself a hole that you've already put yourself in and
Yeah.
stuff. But it's good to kind of just marathon it out. Use your time to the most. Use your time to the best of your ability.
Yeah,
Like-
definitely. And like I've been there, I've done that. I've done the sprinting, no matter if it's Muay Thai training or uni. Like left at the last minute,
Yeah.
had to do crazy assignments. But I've learned from that, you
Yeah.
know. Like I've learned that it's probably best not to leave things in the last minute. You know, it's just if you start early and you're just doing little bits at a time, you'll get it done. And yeah.
That's it, man. It's a good thing to learn, and I think a lot of people are going to benefit from this episode, particularly because I know a lot of people that have always wanted to fight, and it's all good and said me saying my experience from what I've done, but having someone that's like lived that life, is living that life, and is wanting to make a career of it is so different to what my experience is, and for a lot of people that's going to be enough motivation or maybe to push them to do something that they didn't think that they were capable of. And that's something that I think is the most rewarding thing about, especially Muay Thai of all places. Once you start it, you realise that it was one of the most worthwhile things that you did.
Definitely, and if you want to fight, go for it. Like, you know, I got a lot of people saying like, you know, maybe I'm not built for it, or I'm too old even. I get that quite a lot. And like, if you go to Thailand, you'll see like 56-year-old guys still getting in the ring. I'm like, what's this guy doing? They're just out there for a bit of fun, you know. Like you go to the local stadium, you'll have like a really old guy fighting another really old guy. It's like, you know, it's never too late. And even just to start training, maybe not even to fight, but you know,
keep yourself fit.
That's the biggest thing. It's like for me, is seeing people and like they make the excuses. And granted, things, you know, can get in the way. But if you prioritize something, you can get it done. You know, definitely.
Yeah, I think fitness is such a big thing, and so it's so important.
Definitely.
Like I do say that to a lot of people.
And it's never too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Like I actually spend most of my time when I'm like, every Tuesday. Actually, I do PT sessions with my mum and brother because they're like they're not overweight as such, but they're definitely on the bigger like scale. Like they maybe are overweight, right? But not in a bad way. Not like an unreversible. I mean, there's never an unreversible amount of weight, right? But it's like I understand that the more weight you put on and the less dedication you've got to making that better, because it's a lot harder to make it better. But that's the thing that I learned most from PT and myself. Like you have to find ways to teach your clients to then realize that there is a better side to it. You will be able to fix what you have let yourself go from. You know what I mean?
And a lot of people get stuck in that like sort of cycle almost. You know, like if you become inactive and you're not doing as much fitness and you're like eating unhealthily and stuff, and then you know, for example, if you're putting on weight and then they go, oh, you know, I'm putting all this weight and I'm lazy, and then they tell themselves that, and then they just keep going and spiraling down. But it's just reversing that sort of mindset.
Yeah. Pick them up when they're feeling at their worst and prove to them that they can be better.
Yeah, definitely, because everyone can be.
And I think it's also so important to like drill into these people's heads that you're not going to see massive differences right off the bat.
No.
You need to, like you say, be consistent. The long haul is there. It doesn't just happen in a week. It happens years. You know, some people don't lose weight for the longest time, but then once they get there and they see the reward that they've received from putting the effort in, it's life changing.
Yeah, it's one of the main reasons I fight is for the rewards. You know, like afterwards you feel great. Like I said, it's like when you're all bruised and battered, but you still feel great. You know, because you went through this hardship. You know, you've earned it.
Yeah.
Same thing with the ice baths. You know, it's probably the hardest thing in the world to get up, whatever time in the morning, and put yourself into a horrible ice bath. It's hard, you know, but you do it and you feel great afterwards. You know.
Life is all about longevity, innit?
Longevity, exactly.
And that's what we're all here for. Oh, well. Have you got anything else that you would like to speak about in particular?
I don't know. I don't think I do. I know we were speaking about tattoos in the ice bath. Tell me about your tattoos.
Right, well. Let me get them up now. So, I'm to be fair, when I first started this tattoo, it started with a little Medusa here.
Yep.
It was more just I liked the idea of having Medusa there. There's obviously stories behind Medusa. It's not that story that I've got it for, because like I know there's a whole like victim, like rape victim backstory to it. That's not why I've got it. But I didn't learn that until after. But it doesn't really matter, because the whole story to this actual arm is a lot more than that. So obviously I started with this. And then I've got Athena here, which interlinks perfectly with Medusa. Then I've got Pegasus here. I've got Zeus. And then I've got Hercules. Hercules doesn't fit the story, but it's just I like Hercules because it embodies strength and just being honourable and big and strong.
Yeah, definitely. So would I be right in saying they're all Greek?
Yeah. Greek mythology has always been something that I've been right into. So I thought it was a no-brainer to get a full sleeve of something that I actually enjoy.
Definitely.
But after I had obviously built the first couple, I was like, I'm going to try and build a story at this. And the whole story is basically to do with the fact that Zeus is obviously the father of Athena and Medusa.
Okay.
Not like the father of Medusa, sorry. The father of Athena. And the whole story is that Poseidon, which isn't on my arm, sadly missed that opportunity, but Poseidon basically was with Athena. And then Medusa cheated with Poseidon, meaning that then she got cursed and became Medusa.
Okay.
The whole story is that there was this Medusa, the scary lassie that turns people to stone as soon as she looks at them. And you've got, what's his name? See, you've put me on the spot here. Again, I've not got him on my arm, but it's so important because I feel like I embody that person. What's his name? Basically, he was no god, no demigod. He was just an average guy.
Yep.
And his job was sent to go and slay Medusa. And I feel like I embody this guy perfectly because he overcame things that no one else could.
Yep.
He overcame the embodiment of looking at himself and being put to stone. It's a weird ideology in my head, but it's like I used to look at myself and think I couldn't be better because I was stuck somewhere. So I'd look at myself and think, you're stuck there. You're that hag. You're that person that you don't feel happy in because you look at yourself and you think, oh, no one can conquer that. No one can conquer what you've done wrong. So like my drugs, all these other little things in my life that I was doing that I wasn't happy with, but for some reason I just would never fix.
Yeah.
And then obviously that person comes along, just a normal human being sent to do the unthinkable, because how are you going to beat a god? And he goes and he slays the god by none other than using his shield to kind of send back whatever Medusa sends towards to stone, to turn her to stone, that then ends this hag, this demigod.
Yeah.
And from that, when she dies, he cuts the head off of her, and Pegasus is born, so it's a horse with wings.
Yep.
To show new life, new opportunity. And it's like, I feel like his name's Perseus. That's his name.
Yeah.
And I feel like I just embodied that so much because the opportunity to kill the old version of yourself, then allow that Pegasus to fly up and show the new opportunity that you've arisen from. This whole arm has a lot more to it because of that. And I may have just started with a stupid idea, stupid tattoo that I liked, and now it's got a full story to it, and that might not be everything if you go and search up the story, it might not be exactly how I said it, but it's very similar to how I've said it, and I don't know, man.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, it's cool.
It's important to have a backstory to these things as well, because a tattoo's there for life.
Yeah.
So obviously you've got your dragons, you've got your
Yep.
other reasons. You
Yeah.
explained that, and it's good to sit down and talk about this tattoo, because it's all about what I used to be
Mhm.
to then slay who I used to be to then become better.
Yeah,
and be new.
definitely. Cool. You ever seen Percy Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Perseus, isn't it? Yeah,
That's exactly why I remember.
I
it,
love
'cause
those
thought-
films, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and he slays her in the movie. So
He does,
like,
doesn't he? With his iPod, I think.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the mirror. A little
that's-
modern twist to it.
and that's it. It's good that it's the thing is, you would never look at this tattoo, and I'm happy you asked this question,
Yeah.
because I've only spoke about this once, but you would never look at someone's tattoo, or you might think there's a reason, but
Yeah.
that kind of level of backstory and like the thought that went into it to then, if I ever feel down or I feel like I'm gonna go backwards, or I look at my arm and I go,
Yeah.
nah, this is what I'm made to be better. I wanted to
100%.
be better, and I've proven to myself over the last year that it was time to be better,
Mhm.
and I couldn't be more proud of myself. So
I'm proud of you too, man.
thanks, man.
From what you told me. Yeah,
I appreciate
definitely.
it. It's good. It's the fact that I've managed to change my life so much to the point where no one would even expect it, and that's something that I think a lot of people in maybe my boots still struggle with. It's coming out of it and staying away from it.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. It's not even proven for a year that you're different. It's proven for the rest of your life now that you're not gonna go back to where you were, and it's a hard fucking task.
Oh, yeah.
Because the fucking pressures of the people around you sometimes. I mean, one of the biggest things I actually noticed when I stopped was the amount of people I lost, and evidently that's just because they weren't good for me,
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna hold on to that.
definitely.
So
You want to surround yourself with the people on the same mission as you.
yeah, and that's why I love Muay Thai, because you surround yourself with such good people.
Definitely.
Like, you might think, oh my god, I would not want to fight that guy. He would take my head off, but he's a good guy.
He's
so
a good
like,
guy, yeah.
It doesn't matter, and it's all about fun. Like you said, it's all about fun. And my leg tattoo, that has no real reason. That's just.
It's like a
Just
armor plate
armor.
or something. Yeah,
I
that's
kind
cool.
of.
It
Took
looks
a
like a
lot-
shin pad, to be fair, like
Yeah.
a Muay Thai shin pad. That's cool.
That's why I got it.
Yeah.
I took a little bit of Rowan's book because I saw his. I was like, "That's
He's
sick."
got quite a cool one.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's only just started. It's
I
gonna
like
go all
that.
the way up my leg, but
Cool.
I'm just taking it slow.
You definitely want more.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Come on, it doesn't stop, man. Doesn't stop. And I've got a wee cross on my ankle just because I see myself as a pretty religious. Well, not. I wouldn't say I'm religious, but I like a cross. I like
Yeah.
what Jesus is and all that kind of backstory has
Yeah, man.
for meaningfulness. It's good.
No, I get that. Like, I'm not religious in myself anyway, but what I like to do is, like, take the bits of different religions that actually, like, you can use better, almost, if that makes sense. You know, like, the way Bruce Lee did it with martial arts, he was like, take what's useful and get rid of what's not. You know, and that's how he developed his own martial arts system, Jeet Kune Do. You know, he's taking the best bits of all the different ones and making his own that works for him.
Yeah.
And, like, I like to think about the same about religion, you know? Like, I'm not set on any single one, and, you know, I don't know what's out there, but I do know that religion can help
Yeah.
a lot, you know, helps a lot of people, you know, maybe if they're in a tough place or just to be a better person, and you can take the little bits of each one and, you know, use that to make yourself better.
Sometimes it shines a light in the places that are the most dark, and
Yeah,
that's,
man.
that's impressive that like words from scripture can do something like that. That's why I respect it so much.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of people do ask, like, oh, you've got a cross on your leg, are you like proper religious? Yes, I was christened when I was born, obviously.
Yep.
So I was christened in a church, but I wouldn't say in any way that I go to church every Sunday. I'm not in that kind of respect, but there's little things from scriptures that really they get to me. They
Yeah.
I hold them, and like you said, it's good to take little bits from everywhere and turn it into your own kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's what you follow by, because there's like so many important little pieces that show honor, that show discipline, that show all these different things of the scripture that's from years and years and millions of years ago, that shows that the average man could still be like the average man now.
Yeah.
Even with all the difference in life we have now.
And it's crazy how these things that were written thousands of years ago still apply
Yeah.
to today, you know? It's maybe, like, different, but it's still the same,
Yeah.
you know?
It's world is crazy, man. Everything interlinks in some way,
Yeah, man.
and it's good
Like the
to
hip
sit-
and the knee.
Yeah, there you go. The hip and the knee. You got a pain in your knee. It's actually probably your hip.
Yeah.
Logan Chan will tell you otherwise. Oh, that is great, man. Well, honestly, I think we're probably getting to the end of this now.
Yeah. How long have
So,
we done now?
an hour and 10 minutes.
That went fast.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I
that
mean,
was
man.
cool.
It's good. It's like just splitting it up the right way to keep it interesting without making a conversation become stagnant. That's
Yeah.
that's the important thing about something. That's something that I learned. Like, obviously, I took a massive break in between starting this again because there was only one episode previous to you that was before like 5 months. I just
Yep.
took a big break. This became a lot of a slog for me, not because it was bad people coming on it, not because of, I just lost touch with it.
Yeah.
And it was fine because I had other things to make up for it. So when I came back, the energy's just there again, and it's
Yeah.
good to like pull out the old, stuck it in the wardrobe, forgot about the podcast, pulls it back out, has the new energy,
Yeah.
tries to like learn the skills, because it's sometimes hard, especially with like the way I do it. It's not like I just bring folk on that are like known or they're doing really well in other parts of their life. I bring in anyone. If they want to be involved, they're more than welcome, and that comes with the difficulties of confidence. Like, there'll be people that come on, they're like, I really want to do this, but I'm not as confident. That's fine. Let's just sit down and let's talk.
Let's just talk. Yeah, I
And
like
that's
that. I
what's
like that
about.
a lot. Yeah.
And that's
Cool.
That's a skill in itself. Like, being able to bring conversation out of someone that maybe doesn't feel as confident in themselves, or just isn't as confident in general. Like, the ice bath is, you're already asking someone to do the unthinkable.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're willing to come and do that, and that's what I love about doing what I do. It's the show of people that are interested in doing something difficult that would never really do it before, and they do it. They go, that was actually good,
Yeah.
and they feel like they've gained and rewarded. They've been rewarded for doing it, because there's not a lot of people that go, I really want to do an ice bath.
Yeah.
Like, come on, even folk that do, like, obviously after that training session, that was great for me. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You didn't do as much because you were doing you're showing us how to do it, so you're not as like actively all the time. So that probably felt way worse for you than it did for me.
Yeah.
Because
I was training beforehand, man.
yeah. Oh yeah. Your strength and conditioning. Sorry, don't let me take that away from you. Oh my god.
Nah, it's cool.
Yeah, I forgot you said that. Shit, my bad. But it's like, that was like me going from like heart rate's up here to going to the ice bath, and my heart rate's just like,
no, I understand where
but
you're
then
going.
it's like spiking because I'm like in the cold. Oh, it's so good, man.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Especially you've never done it before. Like, it's just so unknown, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what to expect. You know, and you don't know what to feel. But once you've done it before, you know what to expect.
Yeah.
You know how good it feels afterwards. And
It's actually really funny as well when you get like new folk that have never done it as well, and you'll get one of two experiences. You'll go in and they can't talk.
yeah,
The whole time you're like, that's fine. I'll just talk and I'll just fill up the
Yeah.
time. The whole point of this is to show that you've got the discipline and the strength to do something.
100%.
It's not about talking all the time, and that's why I like try and keep the questions pretty easy in there, because it's like, just talk about something you enjoy.
Yeah.
Take your mind off the cold, and that's easier for someone that enjoys Muay Thai. So that's why I picked that. But like, some people you'll get that just go in and it's like they've done ice baths their whole life, but it's
Yeah.
their first time. Like,
Yeah.
I've had so many folk like that, I'm like, are you alright?
Yeah.
Like, you've got like a genetic modification to your body or something. Like, I'm sitting there like this, and I've done it for a full year straight, and you've just gone and you didn't care. I'm like, like, you trying to act hard or something? Like, you have to, like...
The camera's on. Doesn't affect me.
Well, to be fair, I find that that's actually a case for me as well. Like, I do this like every like second day by myself without the cameras on and stuff, because it's not always healthy having the cameras on. You know what I mean? They don't need to record absolutely everything you do in life. It becomes more of a game show than a life that you're living. But I found that when you do it without a camera there, because you don't need to try and keep yourself all inside and concealed, I'm sitting there like this the whole time. Like, my dad's like standing at the window like watching me, like, you alright? I'm like, no, I'm not.
No.
I don't want to be in this actually. And like, it's so rewarding, man.
Yeah.
And
If
I think
you've never tried an ice bath before, jump in it.
yeah,
Like, you'll know what we're talking about.
it's the fucking rush you get after it, man. It's unreal. It's unreal. It's always the first, the initial thought of going in it that fucking fucks you over.
Yeah.
But
Simple as that.
it is, man. Well, I've got to offer you a handshake and say to you, thank you so much. It's an absolute honour to have you on this, and I'm like, the fact that you've took time out your day to come and give me this opportunity is great. And I think a lot of people appreciate this that are watching as well. Like, you're absolutely one of the most inspiring people to me.
Oh.
And no, like, genuinely.
Thank
like,
you, man.
It's
Thank
good
you.
seeing someone, especially, like I said multiple times, you're jumbling all these things, but you're still showing up and you're still proving that it's possible. And a lot of people wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's
Like,
all,
one thing
that's all
gets
you have
to
to do is show up. Consistency, like I said.
And I know, like, there'll be a lot of other people. Like, your name's probably the most, between you and Daniel, it's the most prominent that I hear about all the boys at the gym. Like, they're always talking about how, like, you're inspiring them and that. And it's good. Like,
That's cool. That means a lot to me too, to
Yeah.
be fair, yeah.
Like, you're a prodigy. A prodigy in the team.
Yes, thank you.
Like, within our gyms, like, I don't know what it's like at Hanneman, I've never trained there, but Primate especially, you get a lot. And it's also so rewarding hearing, like, whether it's you, whether it's Daniel, just them going, oh guys, whose morning class is it today? Oh, it's fucking Logan, let's go! You turn up and we're all sitting in there actual hyped up. Get ready for your session.
That's cool,
man.
that's really cool.
Nah, it's good, man. I do really appreciate you for being who you are, and it might be hard sometimes for you, but know that it rewards everyone. It's not just you that you're
Appreciate it, man. That's good to hear. That's good to hear.
No, absolutely, man. Well, for you lot watching us here, the next Cold Ones will probably be in the next couple of weeks as well. I don't know who the guest is going to be quite yet, but you'll find out. There'll be plenty of leaks, little things popping up every so often. As for this episode, that'll be the closer for it. And like I said, honour, mate. I'm so happy that you came on.
Thanks for having me on.
And like the way we spoke, it felt natural, and that's one of the most rewarding things about this. Sometimes you get the people that are a little bit less confident, but then you get the people that are confident and just want to talk and talk and talk and talk.
Yeah.
And it makes it easy for me. So thanks for making my life easy too.
No worries.
But anyway, guys, we will see you next Sunday, the Sunday after, whenever the next Cold Ones comes out, and except from that, leave a little like. Go and check out Logan's stuff. It'll be all over the place. I'm going to link his YouTube channel as well so you can watch his fights, because that is not the only fight he's got. He's got multiple good ones to watch. And yeah, he's going to be active soon. So get watching him, get following him.
Thank you very much, guys.
See you later.
Thank you, Kyle.